American people have awakened. The Patriot Uprising, what some people might call the Tea Party movement, whatever you want to call it. And when the Patriot Uprising occurred, it really occurred and gained steam because the American people got fed up.
In the last 20 years, we've seen an acceleration away from our Constitution and Bill of Rights and towards absolute despotism.
When it reaches the stage that you can look at what's going on and say, well, this is just a series of usurpations, abuses, which are leading inexorably to this result, then it is not simply one's right, it is your duty to take this kind of action.
And I sincerely hope that enough people have crossed that personal line in the sand where they will join forces with the rest of us so that a small number of us are not required to use force and use of arms.
30 years from now, somebody's going to ask you what you did during the Patriot Uprising.
The time when you have to defend yourself from the government is when the law becomes lawless.
We're drawing the line in the sand, and we're saying this is our territory.
No, absolutely not. I will never take a mandatory vaccination.
Fox News has confirmed that Northcom has a proposal sitting on the desk of Secretary of Defense Robert Gates that would authorize the military to back up FEMA should there be an H1N1 pandemic.
Right now, about 3,000 cases of H1N1 across Florida, about 30 deaths, but the chief of pandemic planning for the state of Florida said things could get a lot worse.
In case the government asks FEMA for help, the government will be ready there with the military, we're told.
The acting head of the CDC said he fully expects deaths from this infection.
We are closely monitoring the emerging cases of swine flu in the United States.
And once he declares an emergency, he can authorize non-healthcare licensed personnel, read that to mean police, to vaccinate people against their will. Now, can they force adults to take vaccination? No. They will incarcerate adults without a trial, without charges, without even a search warrant, who refuse to be vaccinated.
This is obviously a cause for concern and requires a heightened state of alert.
There have been 2 more H1N1 related deaths in Rhode Island.
36 children have died from the virus.
76 children have died from the H1N1 virus since April.
The government now believes roughly 8 million children have come down with the virus.
The infection is spreading.
Well, stockpiling vaccines, closing schools, and letting government employees work from home.
Prepare, don't panic.
They say the best way to prepare is to have your family vaccinated.
The vaccine appears to be safe.
The Obama administration is considering implementing a new fall vaccination program against the flu.
Composed of mercury, and it's been proven to cause not only Guillain-Barré syndrome, but also autism.
President Obama has now declared the H1N1 virus to be a national emergency.
The White House says the president signed this proclamation last night. It will allow medical officials to bypass certain federal requirements.
To ensure that we have the resources we need at our disposal to respond quickly and effectively.
The bill gives the Public Health Commissioner the discretion to respond to an outbreak like the kind going on in Mexico, to close or evacuate buildings, enter private property, isolate or quarantine people.
The idea there that we're going to forcibly quarantine people is absolutely absurd.
They even allow authorities to forcefully enter the homes of citizens suspected of having the virus.
The following area is now a military quarantine zone. Please do not attempt to leave your home. Mobile vaccination units are standing by.